Hello guys, Emmanuel from Geekception here and hope you're doing awesome today. Now today I shall be comparing the Zenfone Max Plus M1, the new phone, to the ASUS Zenfone 4 Max Pro. Now I shall be comparing build quality, I shall be comparing the display, the camera, and just about everything. Let's begin. And welcome back guys, and I've already gotten a few requests for this video. What is the difference between the new Max Plus M1 and the Zenfone 4 Max Pro? Well, ask no more because I shall be taking a quick dive. Let's start. Now starting off with the hardware, and the M1 is definitely lighter than the Max Pro. It comes in at 160 grams compared to the 181 grams of the Max Pro, which you can definitely feel on picking up both devices. Now when it comes to design, they are actually pretty similar but also different. Now they have the cameras in the same position on the back but not on the front. The same goes for the fingerprint scanner here as well. Buttons are the same, but the mics are definitely not. Now the micro USB port on both are flanked by a microphone and speaker. The M1 however has no screws, while the Zenfone Max Pro has screws. Now as I said, they are similar but different. When it comes to feel in the hand, the M1 feels much better, I would have to admit. Now even though it has a bigger display, 5.7 inches here, it comes in a shell of a 5.2 inch device, which makes it way easier to hold. Now this is in comparison to the Max Pro that has a 5.5 inch display, but still manages to be bigger than the M1's overall size. For me, I would say the Max Plus M1 feels better in the hand compared to the Max Pro. Both the M1 and the Max Pro run Zen UI 4 atop Android 7. Now something that is weird here is that the M1 runs the older Android 7.0, while the Max Pro runs Android 7.1.1. Very weird. Now if you've used or seen any ASUS device in the past year, then Zen UI shouldn't be any different to you here. Now while the Max Pro does not have on-screen buttons, the ones present on the M1 are actually different from other Zenfone devices. Now also the launcher on the M1 has removed the All Apps button in favor of swiping up to reveal all installed applications. And while they both have fingerprint scanners that, open at a somewhat similar speed, the M1 has face unlock here. I must admit, I was very skeptic about face unlock, but it has actually turned out to be very useful. I've had myself using it pretty much all the time as my default unlocking method now on the M1. Moving on to one of the most important differentiators here is the display. Now, on the Max Plus M1, there's a full view display here. This means that a 5.7 inch device is cramped into a 5.2 inch body, making for like a really stunning looking device. On the Max Pro, we have a 5.5 inch device with humongous bezels next to the M1. Now, they both have 720p displays, with the M1 having a bit more resolution thanks to it being a bit more taller. Now on closer inspection, I could see the pixels on the Max Pro if I looked really hard, but on the M1, I would say I really couldn't notice it that much. And when it comes to overall, quality, the display quality here, the M1 has better overall saturation and white balance that I prefer over the Max Pro. And when it comes to watching videos, I would have to give it to the Max Plus M1 here. While the Max Pro does have a 5.5 inch display and it isn't half bad, the M1 with its 5.7 inch display is just simply better in my opinion. Now, for once, it has a bigger display in a smaller body. This means you get to enjoy way more content on the M1 than on the Zenfone 4 Max Pro. Secondly, it looks better with less pixelation and better vibrance, I would say. Now, on both these devices, you are stuck with 720p, at least when watching videos on YouTube. Moving on to audio, I actually carried out an audio test with these two devices. Check it out. Moving on to the camera, and both the M1 and Max Pro have a dual camera setup on the back. The dual camera setup consists of one standard camera and one wide angle camera. Now, a major difference here is that on the M1, both cameras on the back are more higher resolution than on the Max Pro. Now, something the Max Pro has in front is a front-facing flash, whereas the M1 uses the screen as a flash in low light conditions. Going up front, and both front cameras have the same resolution at 8 megapixels. On taking a closer look at the photos taken by both devices, I'd have to say that the photos taken by the M1 were definitely more sharper than the one taken on the Max Pro, but sometimes the one taken on the Max Pro had a better white balance and a better representation of what my eyes could actually see. When it comes to the wide angle camera, I would say the one on the M1 is definitely better, and something I did not like about the Max Pro was that the photos came out looking like a painting sometimes, lacking sharpness. And this is a front camera video test in the day of both the Max Plus M1, I almost forgot that, and the Max Pro, Zenfone 4 Max Pro. And I'm just walking here so you guys can actually see how it looks like, so you guys can give me feedback as to the one you prefer. So yes, which one do you like? I'm just talking so you can actually have more footage, so let me know in the comment section down there below. And this is the back camera video test of both devices, and I'm just going to be taking it down there to see how it performs here. Yes, so let me know what you feel. I'm going to take it to the sky there, bringing it back down. So yes, how do you think it performs, both the Max Pro and the Max Plus? Let me know in the comment section down there below. So you guys are just going to get some extra footage here before I end the recording. So yes, this has been the camera test. And this is the back camera test of both the Zenfone 4 Max Pro and the Zenfone Max Plus at night right here. And looking at both here, it's actually quite difficult to tell which is better. I would have to take this to my computer, though I think I'm looking, all these guys are here.
Hi, Dad.
Yeah. And I have Mr. Jallo there and Mr. Taufik. Sorry for stepping on you, Mr. Jallo. So yes, this is the night test, as you guys can see, with all the guys there at 2 a.m. in the morning, not having any job. But yes, what do you think about the night camera test? Let me know in the comment section down there below. And this is the front video test at night. And the first thing I actually noticed is the fact that on the Zenfone Max Plus, it looks much more, I would say, cooler than on the Zenfone 4 Max Pro. So confusing, both these names. Anyways, both of them both have front flash, so I can turn on the front flash of the Max Zenfone 4 Max Pro. So bright, oh my god, so bright. Let me turn that off. Yes, and I can turn off the one off on the actually I cannot turn on the one on the Zenfone Max Plus while I'm recording. That's quite interesting to see there. But yes, this is basically the kind of front camera video quality you're going to be getting at night on both these phones. Which one do you prefer? Let me know in the comment section down there below. Moving on to performance, and the Max Pro has a Snapdragon 425, whereas there's a MediaTek processor on the M1. Now, how much does this affect performance, you ask? Well, both of these phones are definitely not speed demons. In pure benchmarks, well, the M1 surprisingly came out ahead. Not by a lot, but it still came out ahead anyways. In real life performance though, the M1 opened apps slightly faster. Not by a whole lot, but slightly faster. Now when it comes to gaming, they both have long wait times, believe me. But here also, the M1 slightly edges out the Max Pro. Slightly. Now in terms of battery life, the M1 is actually a downgrade with a 4130 milliampere battery compared to the 5000 milliampere on the Max Pro. Now, my typical usage consists of using social media, the camera, Reddit, Google Play Books, and on both devices, I was actually getting between 7 to 8 hours of screen on time, with this translating to about 2 days of intensive use most times, which I would say is actually pretty good enough on both these devices. When it came to call quality, both of them fared pretty well with no hiccups. I actually rarely used the phone, but I did make phone calls with WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger. Now moving on to price, and this is where I think the Max, wait, wait, I'm actually confused. The Max Plus M1 is actually a pretty good deal because without any discount whatsoever, it is actually cheaper than the Zenfone 4 Max Pro right here. And I think for all the features you're going to be getting, hey, who knows? What do you think? Finally, after taking a look at different aspects of both devices, I'd have to say the M1 is a very nice upgrade from the Max Pro. It still has excellent battery life in a smaller package that has a bigger screen, which I love a lot. Performance-wise, it surprisingly does better than the Max Pro here. Color me surprised as well. And on screen right now, you can actually see some pros and cons for both devices. Now there you have it. That has been the comparison between the new Max Plus M1 and the Zenfone 4 Max Pro. You cannot believe how much times I've actually confused these two devices when writing the script and when shooting this video. Now, the most important question is, which one should you buy, or what is the main difference? I would say the main difference is mostly that display, as you guys would have said by now. The performance, not by a lot, just a tiny little bit, which surprised me. The battery, which is not by a lot as well. So I would say if you want something that lasts long in a smaller package and that looks really, really nice and, you know, futuristic, at least future-proof for a while, get the Max Plus M1. You cannot go wrong with it. If you want something that has a little bit more longer battery life, just a tiny little bit, and well, front-facing flash if that's what you fancy for night shots, yes, you can go for the Max Pro as well here. That's basically been it for this video. I really, really hope you enjoyed it. This has taken me far much longer time than I thought it would. It was actually supposed to release this video yesterday, but I mean, the time is 6:36 a.m. yesterday, which if you guys are going to be watching this tomorrow. But yes, I decided, hey, I cannot put this out in time. So yes, it took a lot to make this. So if you have any questions, don't be shy. Leave comments down there below. Which other devices would you want me to compare the Max Plus against? I've gotten requests for the Mi A1, for the Zenfone 3, for the Zenfone 4. Please, you know, keep them coming. And thank you so much for watching this video. If you would like to support, I have a Patreon at patreon.com/Geekception if you want to support what I do here. Apart from that, you know, give this video a big fat... Wait, I'm just going to put the phones down. Give this video a big fat thumbs up if you like it. A thumbs down if there's anything at all you do not like. And even more importantly than liking, than disliking, than subscribing, please make sure you take care of your wonderful, awesome, amazing self. You are awesome, okay? You deserve the very, very best in this world. Don't you dare forget that. And if you've forgotten that, I'm telling you right now, okay? So, yeah, that's basically been it for this video. I shall catch you lovely, awesome, amazing people next time. Don't forget to be awesome. Bye.